It is the 41st millennium. Mankind has endured tens of thousands of years of expansion, advancement, betrayal, and devastation. The Emperor of Mankind sits on Holy Terra, wired to the Golden Throne, an omnipotent god kept alive by arcane technology and worshipped by untold trillions across the vast imperium of man. Thank you. Reality itself has been torn asunder across the galaxy, as the forces of chaos rend the veil between the alternate reality known as the Warp and our existence on the material plane. The unending battles between the armies of the Imperium and the vile Xenos, heretic, and demonic threats they face have scarred entire solar systems and left once beautiful worlds as blackened ruins. Our heroes have been selected by the Holy Inquisition, a shadowy organization with near limitless authority and power within the Imperium, to root out sedition and heresy under the guidance of a senior member of the Ordo Hereticus, one who specializes in the machinations of cults and rogue psychers. We join them in the eastern fringe of the galaxy, the Imperium Nihilis, beyond the warp storm called the Great Rift that divides mankind's dominion, in the Pandrax subsector on a planet called Argentum. Our heroes:
Thaddeus Drusis Starch the 14th. Played by voiceover guy Brian.
Yes. Please, tell us about your character briefly.
Standing at about hair under 2 meters tall, but with a perpetual hunch over, Thaddeus is an older gentleman with a bald head and a white goatee, heavy brow, and sort of a perpetual bit of a weird cackle about himself.
Indeed.
All right. I am Tech Priest Arghast of Ryza, played by Lysander. Arghast stands at about 2 meters tall, or 6'6", for those of you who prefer that method of measurement. He is this interesting blend of toned muscle and augmetics, kind of finding this weird blend between the man and machine that is common to tech priests, but less techy than you might expect from a tech priest. And he grew up a rough life, so it kind of is built him to be strong, and he seeks to find the true combination of man and machine.
All right.
I'm Dammit. I'm playing Furia Legasov. Tempestis I am from Vestroia. It is most premium. Growing up, I was orphaned very young. Very, very young. But my family, they were high officers amongst the Vestroian firstborn. So I ended up going to school to become Scion. Through military career started about 16 years old. I am now, 6 feet tall approximately. I am very heavily muscled. I have very many scars, very many tattoos, and I conveniently use my hair to cover my missing ear. The rest of it is shaved. It is quite nice. But yes, I have distinguishing marks all over the place.
Sounds fantastic. And finally...
Hey y'all, I'm Magnolia Grace Lepis. But y'all can call me Maggie. And this here banjo is my grandpappy. Well, was my grandpappy. My home planet was named Trovac 6, but my family lost the farm to the orc incursion, and, well, I got shipped off to get some book learning. At the Inquisition, I'm an adept for the Ordo Hereticus. And I'm Kat.
And welcome all to Accidental Crusade, brought to you by Digital and Dice. I am your host, Mark, and I will be running the game as game master for this fine group of heroic individuals. So, where we last left, these heroic acolytes, they didn't exist. Moving forward, of course, we found you all previously working for a different member of the Holy Inquisition. Your previous master, Lysander, basically got a little bit too close to a demonic incursion and is now on desk duty due to the fact that he no longer has much body below the waist. Because you all were able to do quite a lot of good for the Inquisition during your last tenure, you have now been reassigned to go meet up with a different Inquisitor who is currently on investigation on the planet Argentum in the Pandrax subsector. At this moment, you guys are being shipped out there. You, on your way, are going to be handed a data slate, which is kind of like a data pad, a small view screen, basically.
Tablet.
Yes, a tablet, which on it has encrypted, that is, you're able to read once you put in your codes, Inquisitional Requisition Order 34-18.2. And of those, basically, this is the order that was given, or the request that was sent to the Holy Ordo to bring you guys here. This is sent from the Inquisitor you are to meet up with, someone known as Viclin Melbrand. It reads as follows. This is Inquisitor Viclin Melbrand. I have been investigating a heretical cult on the imperial world Argentum in the Pandrax subsector of Ultima Segmentum. During my investigation, the acolytes under my command have been wiped out by members of a cult known as the Light of Reason. A heretical tech cult who believes in salvation through blasphemous and warp-spawned augmetics. I have escaped capture so far, but require backup, as I believe the roots dig deep into the very depths of this world. Send reinforcements, trusted acolytes of great skill, to meet at the landing fields. I will arrange transport to a safe house. Assume all communications are monitored, and take precautions. Light of the Emperor be upon you. At this point, you guys have been traveling aboard the Imperial Navy ship Ambitious Revenge. It is just happening to make its way through this particular sector of space, and as requested by the Inquisition, they are going to drop you off and make their way off to one of the moons orbiting this planet to continue a blockade that has been going on for quite a while, since an event that happened a while back here in the local sector. Quite a lot of people got brutally murdered in an uprising that didn't go very well. Unfortunately, that means the moon is blockaded, and that's where the ship is headed after it drops you off. So where we find you is on the Valkyrie landing craft, being dropped down through atmosphere. It's shaking as the different atmosphere starts to stream past, vaporizing as it goes, and you see ahead of you the world of Argentum stretching out through the viewports. You see to the north vast ice shelves that seem to just blot out anything beyond them. You see ice storms in the distance. You see the fields leading up to them where vast, multi-story machinery is chipping away at that ice. You see grav trains moving their way back and forth between the mines to the north and the massive hive structure to the south. The city you're headed towards is an old, ruined hive city. At its peak, it would carry anywhere between 20 to 30 billion people within its walls. Stacked to the skies, almost breaching the atmosphere itself, the Hive Ordinus, it is called, is mostly uninhabited due to the previous issues this planet had, meaning there's only about 15 billion people left on the planet.
Oh, that's a small number.
Indeed. It's actually somewhat undermanned, and to that end, you can see, even as you're coming in towards the landing fields outside the Hive, that the outskirts of the Hive city itself seem to be falling into ruin. Only the central parts where you can see the lights and the industry of the city is still operating. Everywhere outside of it seems to just be falling apart and almost skeletal. Your landing craft swoops down, dropping you off at a large kind of octagonal landing pad. The people inside radio that you are free to go. You jump out, and within moments, the backwash of the engines hits you as the Valkyrie lifts and flies off, joining its ship to leave again.
Did y'all see them? They're ice storms? Hoo-wee!
Oh.
It reminds me of home.
It's quite different from mine. Much colder.
Oh, I like the cold. The cold is lovely.
I don't know about that. I
Come
feel
with-
like I need my stomach curatives. I hate traveling through Valkyries. They're terrible, and it feels like they're going to shake apart at any moment.
You still have a stomach?
You don't?
I don't.
Oh dear. It is a good landing. You are alive. It's fine.
Where else do you put them victuals if you don't got no tummy?
Mechanically processed and biologically enhanced devices.
Ugh.
Make up most of my internals. I am strong for it.
I wouldn't want to see under your undercarriage.
You see ahead of you, approaching from the distance, a vehicle coming towards you along the dusty roads that drive alongside the grav train rails that make their way to and from the landing areas to the Hive City. You note that there are no current grav trains here, otherwise your travel might be a little bit easier, but you were told to wait and that a vehicle will be sent for you. So, presumably, this is it. Just a normal kind of ground craft. The rear wheels are tracked. The front wheels seem to be armored a little. Pretty standard imperial fare. But sure enough, as it comes rolling up to your landing pad, as you make your way down the loading ramps, you see it pulls up to a stop. In the driver's seat, wired into the machine itself, is a servitor, effectively a hollowed-out person, using their brainstem and various biological bits as a living computer, a programmable person, usually reserved for those who, say, went through maybe the prison system or various other things and were deemed no longer to be useful as an autonomous person and are now a programmable robot. And sure enough, as it pulls up, the head turns to the side and a Vox-amplified voice comes out and says, "Inside."
Well, if they don't mind, I don't matter.
Yeah, all right.
So
Everybody.
the back door opens up, and sure enough, you're looking at more of a troop carrier than, say, an actual comfortable ride. But the benches inside are, big enough that you're able to bring your gear in, you sit down comfortably. Even those of you of larger stature are able to find purchase. And as you sit down inside, you close the door behind you, and the servitor starts moving the vehicle closer towards the hive. And looking out the front windows, you see the hive just dominating the landscape ahead of you. You don't even see the sky, even though you're several miles out.
True mountains blessed by the Emperor's will and that of the Omnissiah. Testament to mankind's strength.
The information packet we got said there were 15, 16 billion people, and that's diminished. Holy cow, there's 9 on mine. 9, and that was crowded.
9 people?
Billion.
Oh. Well,
This is
I
14
was gonna
and
say it
diminished.
sounds homey, but, whatever.
Billion.
I seem to have misplaced my briefing packet. Do we remember what was the major product produced by this hive?
I gotta guess, it's ice, I think.
No, they create the mechanism inside the las gun. It'll make the fireworks. Well, flashlights, but we call it fireworks to make the regiments feel better.
There are many locations exporting ore among the planet, as well as the ice shelves that are mined for coolant and other liquid needs.
So, as you guys are approaching the hive ahead of you, you're starting to get closer and seeing some of the old shells of buildings where they weren't attacked. They didn't seem to be bombed out so much as they've just been left to rot. Now, mind you, there are places that definitely look like they've been cratered, more than likely in the result of the uprising that failed. But again, this happened about 100 years ago or so, is when that uprising was. So this planet is still kind of feeling that and hasn't gotten to the point of actually refilling its population, thus leaving you to these large open ruins. As you make your way into those outskirts, you see the rising buildings around you. You're looking through empty storefronts. You see hab blocks that just stretch up into the sky, some of them with just gaping holes in the side where they've been hit by bombardments. As your vehicle is making its way towards the mid-hive, where you can even now start seeing some of the lights of the habitable areas, there is a warning klaxon from the dashboard. You hear the robotic voice of the servitor, "Brace. Brace.
Oh,
brace.
well.
Oh,
Brace."
this cannot be good. We just got here.
as you all kind of try to hold on to what you can as just briefly out of the front, and as the large kind of mechanical grasping arm coming out of the back of your robes grabs onto the ceiling and plants you firmly between the ceiling and floor of the inside of the vehicle. as Furia just grabs onto you and use you as the
Hey, look, safety bar
The Omnissiah blesses me with great strength.
and extra features.
those of you who just happen to glance briefly out the front see the smoke trail of a munition heading towards you.
Oh.
And just after noticing that, the whole vehicle bucks and shakes. If I can get everyone to make me a, let's go with a toughness test.
Yeehaw!
Like that.
All right.
So this system is all about die sixes. For a brief explanation, if the players roll a die 6, on a 1, 2, or 3 is no success. On a 4 or a 5, it is a single success. On a 6, it is 2 successes. And the idea is to get up to a certain difficulty of successes. So in this case, the difficulty of this check is 3.
And we add a wrath to this one, yes?
So yes, you also have a die called a Rath Dice. And a Rath Dice is kind of like your critical dice for other die 6 systems. On a 1, it means a complication may occur. And on a 6, it means something good may occur.
Are there any shifts available for this for any reason, or just pass or fail?
Just pass or fail for this one.
Okay.
No.
So, Brian.
2 icons and an exalted icon, which is in fact my Rath Dice.
Okay, so that is a total of 4 successes and a critical success on your Wrath die.
The critical success gained us 1 glory point to be spent by the party later for help.
Glory point being a shared resource that they can all at one point use for basically adjusting how things happen.
I have 3 successful icons and an exalted icon, giving me a success of 5.
Okay, Furia.
I fail. I have 2 icons.
Okay.
I
Maggie.
have 1 icon and 1 exalted icon for a total of 3.
Okay, so that is a success on you. So at the moment, Furia is the only one who fails at this particular roll. What this is going to do is it is going to cause 1 shock damage, which is the first level of hit points, basically. There's shock and there's wounds. So in this case, the toughness test was to see how well you can withstand the shaking and the bouncing. Unfortunately, Furia, you basically your grip slips and you take a tumble in the inside of the vehicle, kind of slamming your side down on the bench, kind of bruising your rib.
What happened to safety bar?
Arghast's muscles are just too oiled and well groomed. You just slipped right off them.
That's a nice way of saying greasy.
The front half of the
Good
vehicle,
kind of grease.
the front half of the vehicle is a blasted ruin. You're actually able to exit through it, so as the whole engine block and front portion where the servitor was has been reduced to bits of meat and slag, to which the Vox recording you can hear just kind of starting to peter out, says, exit vehicle, exit vehicle.
I believe that someone is trying to inhume us, so I think that it might be advisable to draw weapons.
I shall help Fury off the floor and let us make our leave of this vehicle.
Much appreciated.
So as you guys
Y'all, let's
exit,
scatter.
you exit in the front of the vehicle. You note that you're on an area of the road between several large buildings. The road itself is strewn with various bits of rubble and large rock formations of just pieces of the buildings around it that have fallen down. Plenty of cover available, but as you look forward, you see a group of about 8 people huddled around some of the other cover ahead. One of them is discarding what looks to be an empty tube of some sort of launcher. And as they start making their way forward, this is where we get into combat. And unlike a lot of other systems where initiative is rolled, in this system, the heroes get to go first. You get to choose one of your number who gets to act first, and then I get to go, and then you get to go, and we alternate until everyone has gone. There are things that can interrupt this, and we'll get to those as we go. So first off, as you guys have exited the vehicle, you see these people approaching you. They're about 20 meters away.
Arghast shall take up his axe of the Omnissiah, and he shall surge forth for the glory of the Emperor.
I'm just gonna duck out behind y'all.
I would like to shoot at them.
Okay. So, which of you would like to go first?
I, Arghast, would like to surge forth into glorious combat with thus hated foe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is your movement rate?
My movement rate is 8.
Okay, so you can basically rush forward 8 meters, and that is your turn.
Yes. Well, I can do that twice, correct?
Oh, you have a movement of 8, yes.
I have a movement of 8.
Yes. So yes, you can actually do that twice, leaving you 4 meters between you and the group.
Yes.
Okay. And I will go ahead and just put you down as the first. So, I'll go with Ganger 1. So, these guys, as you approach them, you're noting that all of them, without question, are augmented. At least to some extent. Most of them seem heavily augmented.
Oh, they must be the Titan sons I read about in our operation report.
These ones, still humanoid. Still a lot of just kind of normal, mechanical arms, legs. Less of the hulking forms that show you what the actual Titan sons, the gang, one of the gangs that infests Argentum, those ones like to make themselves to look like the massive god machines of the Titans and the Dreadnoughts, whereas these ones seem still more humanoid than that.
I see. Well, emulating the devices of the Omnici is a worthy goal.
To which, though, one of them actually rushes forward. You note that in one hand he's wielding a kind of a crude auto pistol that seems kind of in disrepair, but as he moves forward, one of his arms, the hand actually breaks apart and forms back together into a long, sharp blade, and he comes rushing forward with a yell, and you can hear the Vox imprint from the voice screeching in, like, feedback as he jumps through the air and attempts to stab into you.
A neat trick.
So, in this case, he is going to make his attempt, in which case, I know how to make things work. So, there we go.
Oh, mama, no. When you say a meat trick...
So
Meat
at this
trick,
point,
you say.
attacks are just like other checks, where they're attempting to get as many icons to equal or exceed the defense stat of the person they are attacking. In this case, I get 1, 2, 3, 4.
4 is the number to meet to contact with Arghast.
Okay, and it did get a 6, but this is a basic trooper. They actually cannot gain, they don't gain critical hits.
Oh, good.
That is good.
That's nice.
So in
Quite
this
nice.
instance, the attack has a flat damage plus the potential of more. So this bladed limb has a base damage of 6, plus 1 extra die of damage, and an AP of 1.
Such a futile attempt.
So its basic damage, it did not get its extra, so 6 damage with AP 1. Your armor is...
My armor rating is 5, reduced to 4, and my resilience is 6.
So you have a 10. So it actually comes up and tries to stab that limb into you, and it basically skitters off the outside of your armor. And the thing kind of looks up because it was thinking that this massive charge was going to drive that home, and it just scathes off right on your armor.
Such futile attempts are nothing to the servants of the Omnici.
All right, next, who's up? Furia Dammit.
Yes.
All right.
I would like to shoot it because you said it was approximately how far away?
They're 20 meters.
Excellent. That is less than half of my distance of my plasma gun.
Okay.
So I would like to shoot Scratchy over here, the one who did the hand thing and the stabbing, and that's just rude.
Okay, so the one that's on, you're going to shoot at the one that jumped at Arghast?
Is he in the way?
He is in melee, which means if you take the aim action, you can negate any negative modifiers for shooting into a melee. Or you can shoot at one of the other ones that is not currently engaged.
I would like to shoot at the guy who got rid of the tube.
Okay, not a problem. So he's actually towards the back.
Okay.
But he's still within that 20 meters.
Excellent.
So you pull up your plasma gun, the crackling energy on the coils on the top spring to life, giving this blue-white glow on the top as you take aim. And go ahead.
Hello, welcoming committee. I shoot back now. Okay, so I rolled to hit, and then I rolled a wound?
Correct. So what happens is you get your ballistic skill,
Okay.
and you get to roll all the dice for your ballistic skill. If you are using the aim action, I believe you get a bonus die to your ballistic skill.
Okay, and one of
Yes.
these is Rath.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you are going to sacrifice your move, you can aim and gain a 1 bonus die on the attack roll.
Excellent. Okay. So that means I have ballistic skill of 9. I am rolling 10 dice because I do not move, I aim.
Okay.
Because hitting friend is bad. And
Only mildly.
And because it is half distance, I get another one because I get 1 extra dice for hitting.
Yeah. So a total of 11 dice to try to hit their defense.
I think that guy might be dead directly.
He might just be pasted.
Okay, I got critical on Rath.
Woo.
I'm going to shift over.
2.
Actually, I got many critical. Okay,
What
so
is the defense reading she is attempting to hit?
Oh, you're going for a 3. So,
I would like to shift some dice.
yes. Shifting in this system is if you get an overwhelming success, you can actually shift exalted icons, so the 6s. You can shift those over to gain extra damage and various other effects like that. So in this case, because the difficulty is 3 and you had how many total successes?
The Emperor wants this one dead. Very much so.
13.
13, so you beat it by 10.
Right.
And for every 6, you can shift over, as long as you maintain that 3 to hit, you can shift over every single one of those 6s to be an extra damage die.
So I shift my Wrath to Glory,
Okay.
and then I have 4 exalted icons that I am going to shift over. That is 4 with 3 remaining success.
Okay. And since you rolled a 6 on the Wrath die, you actually get a Wrath card, which is a critical hit.
Cool.
In this case, it is a visceral blow. The target is going to suffer 1 mortal wound, and anyone engaged with the target has to pass an agility test or fall prone.
I am really
as the
glad I did not
damage
shoot
is
Kain
so overwhelming that it's affecting the people nearby.
Okay.
Not that I doubt much of him will be left.
Well,
Chunky salsa.
in a way, yes.
Burst.
So, in this instance, go ahead and roll. You get your damage. What's the base damage of the plasma gun?
15 plus 1 extra dice.
So 15 plus 4 extra dice?
5.
5. So go ahead and roll those 5.
Okay.
And see how many extra damage you get.
Okay.
And as we have determined, every 4 up is an additional damage.
And every 6 is
And every
additional
6 is
2
additional
damage.
2 damage.
Okay, that is 4, 5 more damage. So for a total of 20.
Okay. So you raise your plasma gun, the crackling energy, and you loose a volley at this one who's standing there, who just discarded the launcher tube. As he looks like he's pulling out an auto pistol, you hit him dead center mass with your plasma gun, vaporizing everything above his shins. So his boots and the tops of his shins basically just crackle and blacken as what's everything above it is reduced to a fine red and black mist, dissipating behind it. All of his augmetics boiling away in the plasma heat as the legs then kind of fall against each other and then collapse to the ground next where he stood.
Hello, welcoming committee. We are here.
And welcome, apparently.
So one of them goes from the backside. One of them who was hiding out behind the rubble saw that happen. You hear some very loud and angry swearing, and then you see a large, heavy stubber, a man-portable machine gun, get put on the rubble, pointed in your general direction, and then a yell that comes out almost more like a screech from a feedback loop as it starts to just hold down both triggers, and the gun just starts chattering away.
Hey, look, they have big gun too.
So, all right. So, it actually succeeded at getting, let's see, this was a 2, 4, 6 to hit against your defense, but it got a 1 on its Rath die. So even though it hits, I'm assuming that your defense is less than 6, even though it hits, there's a complication. So basically there's a downside to whatever happened. And in this case, what happens is the gun goes off and it gets, let's see, so that is 11. It's 11 points of damage, no penetration. So what is your armor?
I
Or
have
your resilience total?
5.
5. So that's your resilience. So that is your armor value plus your toughness.
No.
You're
So you're-
looking for it combined.
Yeah, combined total resilience is
9.
9. So a grand total, I believe, said 10.
Yes.
So 10 damage. So that goes over your resilience by 1. So you are going to be taking 1 wound unless you decide to soak it, and that's basically the last-ditch attempt about converting a wound into shock, which is less damaging.
You try to
overall.
take it on the chin.
Yeah. So do you wish to attempt to soak that into shock, or do you want to take the wound?
Yes.
Okay. In which case you have your shock value, and you get to roll those dice.
Oh gosh. Okay. Okay, so I have a shock of 8. I roll 8 dice.
You get 8 die, and for every success, for every icon, you negate 1 point of damage.
Okay, well, the 1 point that would have hit me doesn't hit me by 5.
So you gain 1 point of shock for soaking, and then 1 point converted from wound to shock. So you take 2 shock instead of 1 wound, which is an overall win.
Okay.
For it, as he chatters away with both of these, you note that the rubble in front of him actually gives way, and the gun, due to the kickback, actually scatters off and hits the ground beside him, and you hear him swearing more as he's trying to now gather it up and try to bring it back up to bear on you.
Arm day is important too.
So who's up next?
If you don't mind, I'll go next. I, with a couple of deep breaths, reach into my inner gift, and I use my psychic mastery to lift up, essentially the seat and what's left of the servitor, driver servitor.
Okay.
And I'm going to fling it at Mr. Heavy Stubber Man.
Okay. So you reach out into the immaterium with your mind, the link you have with the warp, as you start manifesting it into a power, trying to lift it up with your telekinesis and just yeet that thing at him.
He's gonna hit one motherfucker with another motherfucker.
That's how this happens.
In service.
Well,
he is still winning.
about that.
So,
I need to get a 3?
how many 6s do I see over there? That's an awful lot of
Again,
6s.
the Emperor wants that man dead.
Apparently.
So, I'm going to, keeping an exalted and a regular icon to hit, I'm going to shift 4 icons.
Okay.
Only?
Because, yes. So, he is going to end up taking 10 plus. That would be 13 damage as the seat and the servitor seem to slingshot his way.
So yes, you reach out with your mind, you lift this thing and just launch it at him. As he's still trying to pick up the heavy stubber, he just manages to lift it, plop it down on the what's left of the cover in front of him. He looks up as what remains of the servitor in the front seat of the vehicle just slams into him at full force. He doesn't even have a chance to scream as the sound of bones crunching is just overwhelmed then with the sound of rending metal and the tumbling as this thing just skitters to a halt another 40 feet down the way.
Sit down before you fall down, son.
He, unfortunately, does not hear you.
His loss.
Well, of life, I think.
Details.
Falls upon deaf ears or something. Or earless ears. Headless ears.
So,
Lifeless. I think the word you are going for there is lifeless ears.
Oh no, see, there's an ear over there.
And the other one is over there, and the bit that's what's in the middle is over there.
Yeah, headless ears. Don't hear nothing.
one of the ones nearby sees your tech priest friend here standing proud with his axe, pulls out a rather heavy-looking hand cannon, points it sideways, shouts out something, and takes shot.
I hear the guns makes the bullet go faster if you punch while you do it.
He endeavors to try.
He will try. The Omnissiah shall laugh at his attempts.
It really messes with your targeting, I'm just saying.
So that's a 4 to hit.
That is the number to meet for Arghast.
Okay. So that is a successful hit. It does 9 points with no armor piercing. So once again, a bullet just ricochets off of your armor.
The Omnissiah bless my work and path. None shall stop me.
So that was... they're starting to get the point at this. So they now are looking around wondering whether this was a good idea. Who's up next?
Ooh, that'd be me. I'm the only one left.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a break from cowering my little gangly form and pull out this here last pistol, I guess.
Okay.
You got it. Hold with 2 hands.
We believe in you.
All
Remember,
right.
squeeze, don't pull.
It's not the same as shooting raccoons back home, you know?
Oh, it is quite similar.
What is raccoon?
It's like, it's got a mask like this, and they wash their food before they eat it. Never mind. I gotta shoot this guy, all right?
You got it.
We call those pilgrims where I come from.
Oh, my lord!
We believe in you.
Oh, holy emperor! What is wrong with you people?
So many things. Let us count the ways.
I can't. I gotta shoot somebody.
I believe.
So that would
All
be
right.
your ballistic skill total?
Yes, that's a grand total of 4, because I am great at this.
Okay.
Here we go. Ready, set, love me.
Oh.
It loves me! 3,
Okay,
Ooh.
and that is so that was a 6 on the Rath die?
Yes?
So you do get that point of glory as well as a critical hit.
Yeah.
So go ahead. You absolutely hit.
Yeah, okay.
So it's a 3 to hit. So how many successes total? Was it 3?
3.
Okay, so you hit, but you can't shift anything.
That's fine.
So go ahead and do your normal damage plus a die 3 mortal wounds as you hit him in a soft spot where the armor isn't protecting him.
Okay.
Ow.
A mortal wound is a wound that cannot be
Extra die.
soaked for purposes of the mechanics.
Okay, so 3 for mortal wounds, 7 plus 6 is 13.
So, the way we found out damage works, admittedly we did this wrong, is
In our
each
test
extra
game, yeah.
damage die you roll, and on a normal, you treat it like successes. 4 and 5 is 1 extra point of damage.
And a 6
And
is
a
2
6
extra
is 2
points.
extra
So this
points
is
of
2?
damage.
Yeah.
That puts us at 9 and 3.
So 9 points and 3 mortal wounds.
Thank you.
Which, yeah, you hit him in an area where his augmetics and his armor don't quite match up, and the lasbolt punches a burning wound right through him. He stumbles slightly and then coughs up some mix between what looks like motor oil and blood as he falls forward into the dirt, kind of the metal clanking against the asphalt.
It's just like Plinkin.
Well done, Nun.
Woohoo!
You got this.
I believe that's 3 of them down so far out of the 8.
Can I use my auspex to see if anybody's more threatening than anybody else since I shot? And
If you're going to do multiple actions, you actually, and the system allows for that, either shooting multiple targets or taking multiple actions. If you do that, you announce it before you do any of them, because it lowers
okay.
the amount of dice you have for all of your actions that turn.
next time I will remember this thing.
Mhm. And we'll get used to that as we go.
Yeah.
So this one. We have the rest of the surviving ones. 2 of them pull up auto guns, so basically assault rifle looking things, longer versions of the auto pistol, and they take aim. One of them shoots at Furia there,
Hello.
and it actually takes aim as well, attempting to make sure that it gets the hit it needs. To which it, I'm assuming a 1 will not hit you.
No.
And it actually rolled a 1 on the, So not only did the gun completely miss you as it chattered off a few rounds, but then you hear this audible click sound as it turns and looks at it, and you see her actually kind of like kind of slamming the magazine home a few times, hitting the side of the weapon, and trying to see if it can actually make it work.
Stop hitting it and stop aiming it sideways.
Does it check down the barrel?
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is the last one. The last one has this kind of crude-looking, serrated bit of metal in an axe as it runs forward and attempts to take another chunk out of
Oh, that didn't advise.
Arghast.
Come in
there.
me, foul imitation.
Come at him, bro. Not it.
So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to hit you.
That is a success.
And that is 10 plus 11 points with 1 armor piercing.
That will be 1 point.
Okay.
To me, I will attempt to soak that.
Okay.
I have a soak value of 5. And I will make the roll, and I will... You only need... How many... Is 1 success per, correct?
1 success per damage you wish to soak.
Okay. There's only 1 damage to soak. I have made 1 success.
Okay.
So I will take that to my shock.
So 2
Or
total
2.
shock. One
Two to my
shock for attempting to soak, and one shock for the wound you converted. Okay.
Right.
So I believe that is all of them. So we come back to the top of the round with whoever it is would wish to go first.
I would like to take the jump on this for a moment, please. Now,
You have 2 of them in melee with you.
yes, and I'm actually quite excited about this. Can I take... So I can spend a glory to re-roll... I just a really quick thing on the what I can do Rath, because I'm hoping to boost my odds here, because I'm going to be taking penalties and try and bisect them both with a single blow.
So what you can do is you can actually just do a multi-attack action.
Right.
So you take a -2 to the roll. You roll once to hit, and you apply it to the defense of each person you're trying to attack. If you succeed, you do damage to both of them.
Correct. I was just trying to remember if there was ways I could enhance that roll with Wrath and or Glory.
Wrath can be used to basically re-roll all the dice.
Okay.
Or all your failed dice, if you wish. Glory is mostly spent for, like, interrupting the initiative order.
Okay.
Making narrative declarations, or just recovering some wounds.
All right, cool. I just wanted to check that before I went full tilt here.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to go ahead and do a multi-action, and I'm going to attempt to swing wide with my Omniscient Axe.
Okay.
My grand total on weapon skill is 9, but I do take a 2 penalty because I'm trying to attempt to hit more than one target.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be a bifurcated cultist?
Hopefully.
We're
we'll
about
see.
to find out.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and spend a Wrath to reroll the horrible amount of misses I just got.
And Wrath is a personal resource that you guys start off with and is used throughout the session. It's recovered every session. So you guys, I believe, all have 2 Wrath to start.
Yes. I do, at least.
Right. So some of you might have more or less depending on your thing, but realistically, you get to use those for rerolls, especially in cases like this.
Yeah, where I rolled a lot of 1s and 2s. Thankfully, not on the Rath die. That is good. So that brings me to 4 successes and an exalted icon, not in those successes that I would like to shift to damage.
Okay. So in this case, 4 is enough to hit their defense, so you hit both of them.
Excellent. So then I will get to make that shift. My Omniscient Axe does 13 damage, plus 2 extra dice, plus the 1 that I shifted. So let's see how much damage I actually get.
Okay. And you apply it to both of them.
Okay. So I do not get any extra damage, so it's just 13 damage to both of them with an AP of 2.
Okay. Their armor is no match for the energy field crackling on the edge of your cog-toothed axe. As you swing it around in a wide arc, your augmetics bulging slightly as the force of the weapon swings it around. And sure enough, you hit one of them dead center right under the arm as it was lifting up to try to make a punch at you with kind of an augmented fist. And it slices right into its side. You feel almost no resistance as your muscles just pull it through, as it almost seems to drag for a sec and then lurches out and hits the other one dead center mass with a crunching sound as the augmetics in its middle just rend open, and the spilling of whatever's inside starts to sizzle as it hits the energy field of your axe.
May the Omnissiah smote my foes.
Sounds like it did.
Smoke, whatever.
Tomato, potato.
You should have blocked that.
That brings us down to 3. None of them are in melee with you now.
Goal achieved.
So one of them, as
squad goals.
specifically the one that had the auto gun, sees that happening, turns the gun and sprays full auto at you, attempting to suppress you in whatever way it can.
It may try.
So basically, it is going to attempt what's called an interaction attack. This is kind of like, for those of you who play Pathfinder, it's like a combat maneuver. It's a way of adjusting and messing with people in different ways. In this case, it's using the ability to basically pepper you with fire in an attempt to either lower your defense or make it harder for you to take actions.
Cute.
Sounds spicy.
So, in this instance, let's see, it is not going to succeed. So it sprays the area with fire, but it doesn't seem to affect you very much.
Clearly, he is afraid of me.
He's still holding it sideways.
And that brings us to the next.
I would like to shoot, if you don't mind.
Oh, go on ahead.
Okay, I believe it is my turn.
And again, you can take a multi-attack as well.
Okay.
So you can shoot multiple people in the same turn if you wish to take those negatives. Now, there's not a whole lot of limit to that. even though there's 3 left, you could shoot all 3 of them if you wish to attempt. You would be at a -2 for each additional target, so -4 dice. But if you're able to hit, you literally will hit all of them. That is an option you can take in this system.
It is an all or nothing gamble.
Yeah. So your total weapon skill, if you're aiming, is what?
My ballistic.
So ballistic skill, sorry.
My ballistic skill is 9.
9. So if you took a -4 to that and were able to hit a 3 defense, you could hit all 3 targets in one salvo. If you wish to make that attempt. Otherwise, you can shoot less or whatever.
I have a salvo of 2. Does that play into that?
I believe your salvo, off the top of my head, the salvo ability on a weapon, I actually have that right here. No, it doesn't affect that.
Okay.
Not for this purpose.
Okay.
Oh no, that does limit the amount of targets you can, so you can shoot at 2 of them.
I can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Salvo it limits the amount of targets you can shoot at once.
Okay. Then I think I will. I would rather show these inept welcome party how you do it. I would like to take the time and focus and aim and show them what veterans do.
My apologies. Salvo, if you spend an ammunition, which is a resource,
One of my reloads.
you get your salvo in a bonus to your attack roll. But you cannot use it in conjunction with a multi-attack.
Oh, so I could hit one motherfucker
Really hard by basically just unloading. Or in this case, you can instead do a multi-attack and try to hit multiple.
These guys seem to be evaporating into pink mist as it is. I think I am not going to really go full dick in the peanut butter on these.
Fair.
Did you have to borrow one, or you got your own? Never mind, it's none of my business. Forgot I asked. Forget it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Please don't hurt me.
So I am going to focus and aim and really target guy who got gun unjammed. That is good, but he's still holding sideways,
Sure.
and that bugs me. Okay.
So you're shooting at 1?
I am, but
Okay.
I am aiming.
Okay. So go ahead and get your full 10 dice.
Da. Okay. Oh, not as exalted. Not as good. Not as good.
Not every roll can be 7 6s.
Yes.
Oh no, I suppose.
You may be blessed, but can't be blessed all the time.
Okay. I am going to shift my exalted icon, which gives me a success of 4.
4 is definitely enough to hit.
Okay. So now that means I aimed.
Which was a bonus to your hit roll.
Oh, yes, I did that. Okay, I did that. Good. Okay. So it's 15 plus 2 extra dice because it comes with 1 and I shifted 1.
Yeah.
And this is good. Oh, shit.
That's okay. So no extra dice.
So that is 15 damage.
So
Damage.
With
Oh,
a-
I forgot.
13.
18 minus 3.
13 damage base, right? With
Yeah.
no extra damage die.
No,
Because no
15.
successes. Oh, 15 is actually 15 base. My
I have
apologies.
Plasma gun.
So, once again, this one you actually catch on the shoulder where it was holding the rifle, and the whole quarter of its body is left just a smoking ruin, with the seared flesh almost in a nice perfect, like a hemisphere of its body has just been removed, and it falls to the ground with nothing much left.
Was it the arm he was holding sideways?
Yes.
Gun? Good. That is what I wanted. Okay.
That's how you correct the troops.
Yes.
Wait, no,
It's called
not.
motivation.
Da.
So the other two, one of them reaches down and pulls out a small, almost like egg-shaped object, pulls the pin, you hear this pink, and it hucks a grenade through the air at the two of you who happen to be standing somewhat close to each other
Shit.
in the area of the rubble.
Okay. Can we dodge?
You can attempt to soak wounds and well, it's not really going to matter.
Because I have an athletics score. I could like jump out of the way, push her, I don't know.
So
Can I use my banjo as a bat and just...
you can attempt to, for example, spend a glory, a group thing, to attempt to affect the world in a different way. If you wish to run forward and make the attempt at batting back a live grenade at them, if the party wishes to let you spend the glory, you can certainly attempt that. I will allow
No
it.
guts, no glory.
Hey.
I believe in you.
I
So
see
go
what
ahead.
you did there.
I got
Do
this.
you?
But you don't have guts.
So reduce the glory points down to
do.
2.
It's not
And
all
Maggie, if you wish to rush forward, I will allow you to make an athletics.
Oh, good. Alrighty.
What
I
Here we go.
believe in you,
Oh.
Magnolia.
For the Emperor.
Woo!
So how many successes was that?
5, 4.
4? Okay. So I was going to give it a difficulty of about what they were rolling for their attack. You run up, and what were you using to bat it back?
I'm a grandpappy.
Grandpappy Banjo. So you just spin it around in your hand, you flap, and you hear this kadoom as the grenade then just rockets back in their direction. The person who threw it, their face just jaw drops as the grenade just wings off of his forehead, just goes back, and then as it sails up in the air, almost in slow motion, there's this detonation as it was certainly there next to the other one. So in that regard, just gonna say, yeah, well, okay. So the explosion that you hit it back happened to encapsulate both of them, and after the smoke clears for a moment, all you're looking at are the ruined bodies of these gangers as they're strewn around the area, missing various pieces of their anatomy, singed, burned, and otherwise not much left. And on that note, as you are standing amidst the ruins, that is where we will end this episode. So thank you, dear Digidicers, for joining us for this first inaugural episode of Accidental Crusade. And until next time, Game on, Internets!